We will call to order the House Standing Committee on Appropriations and Revenue, meeting number 12, Tuesday, March 29, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Annex Room 149. If everyone will abide by the regular rules, make sure if you have a cell phone or laptop or any other electronic device that makes noise, put it on silent and/or airplane mode preferably. If you are a member attending the meeting remotely, please indicate from where you're attending when you answer the roll, as well as use the chat function to seek recognition for questions, comments, or other things that are appropriate. With that being said, please call the roll.
Representative Beckler?
Aye.
Representative Bentley?
Here in the room.
Representative Blanton?
Present.
Representative Bridges?
Here.
Representative Dossett?
Present.
Representative Fisher?
Here.
Representative Fleming?
Present.
Representative Flood?
Present, Annex Office.
Thank you. Representative Fugit?
Here.
Representative Gentry?
Here and off in room, I'm sorry.
Representative Hale?
Here.
Representative Hart? Representative Hatton?
Here in the room.
Representative McCool?
Here in the room.
Representative Nemes? Representative Palumbo?
Here in my annex office.
Thank you. Representative Gibbons Prunty?
Here in the room.
Representative Raymond?
I'm here.
Representative Riley?
Here.
Representative Santoro?
Here.
Representative Tipton?
Present in the room.
Representative Wilner?
Here in my annex office.
Thank you. Vice Chair Reed?
Here in the room.
Chair Petrie?
Present in the room. We have a quorum to conduct business. We have up first Senate Bill 164, Senator Morgan McGarvey, the sponsor. If you will approach the table, please make sure that the microphone is sufficiently close to the two of you, that the green lights are on before you speak, and if each of you will introduce yourselves for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I am Senator Morgan McGarvey from District 19 in Louisville.
Representative Michael Meredith from District 19 in the House, Warren and Edmonson County.
Good. If each of you will raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This bill here before you today is a collaboration, and it puts into statute what we started last year in the budget as a legislature. It's the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program that is now going to be called the Kentucky Imagination Library. And what this does is basically state that if there is funding in the budget, which last year there was, we can't obligate future legislatures, but if there is funding, that we will put the funding towards the Imagination Library program housed with the Department of Library and Archives, and that the money will go towards making sure that all children in communities ages 0 to 5 are sent a book through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program and receive the benefits therefrom. And those benefits from just having a book in the home, from having parents read to children, have been shown to improve child literacy rates, have proven successful in other states, and proven successful in getting kids more ready for kindergarten.
Motion to the bill.
I have a motion and a second on the bill. Anything further?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just briefly say, Senator McGarvey and I have been talking about this since sometime back in the summer. We wanted this to be not just a bipartisan effort, but frankly a nonpartisan effort. Who doesn't love Dolly Parton? Who doesn't love kids getting books once a month? That should be something we can all agree on. Many of our larger counties in the state already have these programs, but we want to make sure that all counties in the state have the ability to have these programs. In Warren County, we have this. My oldest daughter, who's 4 now, has been signed up since she was little. Just got a new book in the mail on Friday when we got home, and she was so excited when we pulled that into the truck. Daddy, I got a new book. And so we appreciate you all entertaining this bill before you today.
Very good. Representative Raymond?
Thank you all for bringing this. I just wanted to ask you to remind us what was in the budget. See in the budget for it next year.
Your microphone cut out. Will you repeat
Yes,
that, please?
yes. I was thanking them for bringing it and asking them to remind us what was in the budget for the program last year and what might be in the budget.
Thank you. Last year, the $800,000 was in the budget for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. In some versions of the budget, we've seen $800,000 again this year. I know there's been a request to have $1.4 million in the budget this year, and I believe 2.6 in the second year.
No other members seeking recognition, please call roll. No, we have one more. I'm sorry, Representative Riley.
Yes, I just want to ask a question for the gentleman from Evanston. Do you or your wife read to your child?
We do, on a nearly daily basis, if not more than once a day.
Okay, thank you.
No other members seeking recognition, please call roll.
Representative Beckler?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bentley?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Blanton?
Aye.
Representative Bridges?
Yes.
Representative Dossett?
Yes.
Representative Fisher?
Yes.
Representative Fleming?
Yes.
Representative Flood?
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Fugit?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Yes.
Representative Hale?
Yes.
Representative Hart? Representative Hatton?
Yes.
Representative McCool?
Yes.
Representative Nemus?
Yes.
Representative Palumbo?
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Gibbons Prenti?
Yes.
Representative Raymond?
Yes.
Representative Reed?
Yes.
Representative Riley?
There's no way I would vote no against either Dolly or reading books to young children. I'm a yes.
Representative Santoro?
Yes.
Representative Tipton?
Yes.
Representative Wilner?
Yes.
Thank you. Chair Petrie?
Yes. Senate Bill 164, having received 23 yes votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 pass votes, will be reported with favorable expression. The same shall pass on the floor. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Yes. Next up, we'll take House Bill 308. Although the title says relating to the establishment of a tax credit to promote investments in Kentucky businesses, I think that'll be discussed further and better. And sponsored by Representative Richard Heath. If each of you will make sure that you have the microphone sufficiently close to you, green lights on, and if you'll introduce yourselves for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Richard Heath, representative from House District 2, Mayfield, Kentucky.
Angie Hatton, representative from District 94, Letcher and Pike.
Representative John Blanton from the 92nd District.
Very good. If each of you will raise your right hands, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. Please proceed, and I believe we have a
motion on committee sub number 4.
Motion and a second on committee sub number 4. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We have before us House Bill 308 as amended by committee sub number 4. If you will, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this bill has been around a while. Some of you have seen it multiple times, maybe as many as 6 years. This is third or fourth year I've filed it. Representative Blanton has filed it a time or two before that, and there was another representative before that. So this is not all new. In fact, we passed this bill out of House Agriculture Committee back earlier in the session, parked it in A&R for it to wait its turn to come before the committee. So the Rural Jobs Bill Fund.
I have a motion and a second. A motion and a second on the bill as amended by committee sub 4. Do you want to go ahead or do you want to take questions? Do you want to present more on the bill or not?
Let's take questions.
All right, Representative Raymond.
Thank you all. I've had questions for some time, and I'm just concerned that while this will help Kentucky businesses, out-of-state investors might benefit even more. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if it would be possible for the state to create a $25 million revolving rural investment fund.
Let me take that if I may.
Yes, sir.
This bill, although it has been in multiple iterations over the years, which has always relied on a tax credit mechanism, the committee sub removes the tax credit mechanism entirely. and it is set up as a defined appropriation that is set up as a pool with guidelines around it so that we can foster the development through companies, venture capital into areas that need it in Kentucky. And rather than us being on the hook for a tax credit, this is a defined amount that's being put in basically as a test project in some senses to see how it works over a limited amount of time. If successful, we can re-up it, put it to a real pool, or we can not continue with it at all. So the tax credit and being that vein is gone in its entirety.
Thank you for the question. If it helps bring comfort to some of you, some of the people that are behind this is the Kentucky Association of Economic Development, Kentucky Farm Bureau, Commissioner of Agriculture, and then many of our local development organizations that support this bill.
And I'd just say that the reason that I'm at the table is to explain one change in the committee sub. It's on page 5, line 16. In the definition of rural county, there was a map that was being circulated to show which counties were included, and Pike County wasn't included in rural county. So we changed the definition just a little bit to make sure that I'm sure no one would think that extreme Eastern Kentucky Pike County would not be included in rural county. So this makes sure that they are included even though their population is over 50,000.
Right, and I appreciate that, but I think you're here for more than just that. As I know, the three of you have been supportive of this concept from its inception and been trying your best on it. I think with this mechanism, rather than a tax credit, this becomes a very viable program to attempt and see what kind of results in our performance measurements we'll be looking at. All right, anything else? Seeing no other members seeking recognition, with a motion and a second on House Bill 308 as amended by Committee Sub 4, please call a roll.
Representative Beckler?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bentley?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Blanton?
Aye.
Representative Bridges?
Yes.
Representative Dossett?
Yes.
Representative Fisher?
Yes.
Representative Fleming?
Without a doubt, yes.
Representative Flood?
Pass.
Representative Fugit?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Pass.
Representative Hale?
Yes.
Representative Hart?
Yes, and I also like to record present for the roll call.
Thank you.
Representative Hatton?
Yes.
Representative McCool?
Yes.
Representative Nemus?
Yes.
Representative Palumbo?
Yes.
Representative Gibbons Prunty?
Yes.
Representative Raymond?
Pass.
Representative Reed?
Yes.
Representative Riley?
Yes.
Representative Santoro?
Yes.
Representative Tipton?
Yes.
Representative Wilner?
No.
Chair Petrie?
Yes.
Chairman, Rep. Flood here.
Yes, please.
I'd like to change mine to a no as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason went over the budget tax reform.
All right, House Bill 308, as amended by Committee Sub 4, having received 20 yes votes, 2 nay votes, and 2 pass votes, will be reported with favorable expression that same should pass on the floor with the committee sub. We have motion and second on the title amendment. All in favor? All opposed? Title amendment is adopted. Thank you all very much. Next up, we have Senate Bill 249, an act relating to incentive programs and declaring an emergency. Sponsor is Senator Philip Wheeler. If you will make sure that the microphone is sufficiently close to you, the green light is on, and if you'll introduce yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Philip Wheeler, 31st Senate District, Pike, Martin, Johnson, Lawrence, and Elliott counties.
Thank you. If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, please proceed. We have, I think, Have a motion and a second on committee sub number 2. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Sub is adopted. We now have before us Senate Bill 249 as amended by committee sub number 2. Senator Wheeler, please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, Senate Bill 249 is a bill that I'm carrying on behalf of the Cabinet for Economic Development regarding some state incentive programs and the ability to take certain tax credits at certain periods of time. Tony Ellis, who many of y'all may have worked with at the Cabinet for Economic Development, is the principal author behind this bill. It also does some cleanup work where some, I guess, orphan funds are poor.
Have a motion and a second on the bill. Anything further you want to speak to, Senator Wheeler?
Absolutely not, sir.
All right. Good call. Seeing no members seeking recognition, please call the roll.
Representative Beckler?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bentley? Representative Blanton?
Aye.
Representative Bridges? Aye. Representative Dossett?
Yes.
Representative Fisher?
Yes.
Representative Fleming? Representative Flood?
Pass.
Representative Fugit?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Yes.
Representative Hale?
Yes.
Representative Hart?
Yes.
Representative Hatton?
Yes.
Representative McCool?
Yes.
Representative Nemus?
Yes.
Representative Palumbo?
Yes.
Representative Gibbons-Prunty?
Yes.
Representative Raymond?
Yes.
Representative Reed?
Yes.
Representative Riley?
Yes.
Representative Santoro?
Yes.
Representative Tipton?
Yes.
Representative Wilner?
Yes.
Chair Petrie?
Yes.
Chairman, Rep. Flood, I'd like to make mine a yes vote, please.
All right, thank you very much.
They all involve me.
And that's committee sub.
I'm sure it's just another way to give away money, sort of. Okay.
Senate Bill 249, amended by committee sub 2, having received 24 yes votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 pass votes, will be reported with favorable expression that same should pass on the floor with the committee sub. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next up, we're going to take Senate Bill 285. Has anybody seen Chairman McDaniel anywhere? Okay. All right. All right, we're going to try to go ahead and take up 285. Senate Bill 285. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
motion on committee sub.
We have a motion and a second on adoption of committee sub 1 for Senate Bill 285. All in favor? All opposed? Committee sub is adopted. We have before us Senate Bill 285 as amended by committee sub 1.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
motion on committee amendment number 1.
We have a motion, second, on committee amendment number 1. Sorry. Drafted to the sub. Is it drafted? Hold on a second. Oh. It is on the original.
We're going to roll it in.
Okay, it is to the original. Got a motion and a second on the sub. All in favor? On the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Committee amendment is adopted.
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
motion on committee amendment number 2.
We have a motion and a second. We have a second motion, a second on committee amendment 2. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Committee amendment 2 is adopted. Senate Bill 285 as amended by, and I'm going to start with the committee sub. Page 1, 2, 3, and several pages thereafter is about data collection and making sure that we have operational data coming from the executive branch, in particular the Department of Revenue, in a format and subsets that are usable and effective for the legislative branch. I'm turning through page 9, 10, 11, 12 on the sub.
No, I don't. It's like a bunch of different.
On page 18, section 12, we have a healthcare worker loan relief program, which I think has been talked about in various circles through the University of Kentucky with the Center of Excellence in Rural Health, and guidelines for that on successive pages. We have on page 21 and 22 other related health measures, including a mobile crisis services through CMHC. Starting on page 25, we have what I think is Department for Natural Resources promulgating regs and basically putting into effect a habit and a practice that has been there for years, but to give it some statutory or administrative flesh. And bear with me to get to the next page. We have on page 40, 40 and successive pages dealing with the judicial branch and what kind of reports we're going to get back, as well as workload study in some senses. All right, so okay, that deals with their reports and our successive reports thereafter, which is basically one of our cleanup bills, getting rid of unnecessary reports from all of the branches. That bill ran separately before, but was not going to be able to make it through the process in the Senate. With that being said,
Motion on Senate Bill 285 as amended by Committee Amendment Number 2. Committee Amendment Number 1 and Committee Substitute.
we have a motion and a second. 285 with Committee Sub 1, Amendment 1, Amendment 2. We have a motion and a second. Representative Nemus.
Yeah, I know the sponsor's not here, but I have a question, if I might, on Section 12. That's the Healthcare Worker Loan Relief Program.
Page of the sub?
Page 18, starting, and it goes to page 20.
Yes.
So that program, I assume, is designed to combat the worker shortage in healthcare, which is a very laudable thing. We obviously have that. I do note that it's going to be administered by the University of Kentucky Center of Excellence in Rural Health, which is also a good thing. And then they're supposed to come up with requirements that people can meet to get their state loan repayment, to benefit from the state loan repayment program. It doesn't say anywhere in there whether that is only a rural program. Obviously, people in Louisville and Lexington and Northern Kentucky suffer from a scarcity of healthcare workers as well. So I'm asking the question, I just want to be clear that just because it's administered by the University of Kentucky Center for Excellence in Rural Health, that doesn't mean that areas that aren't rural won't benefit from the program, or does it?
Yeah, I don't think there's a restriction. I think that the center is named Rural Health through UK and all facets of Kentucky. That's not the intention of this, but I would also, and I don't think it would be applicable. The other thing is we have multiple items in the budget that are funding healthcare worker relief issues that are not centered on this particular program also.
Right, and where the eligibility is also across the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Representative Wilner, is she online? Representative Wilner, online?
Yes, thank you very much. My question just has to do with the appropriations for the healthcare worker relief program and also the mobile crisis services for the community mental health centers. In the original versions of those bills, there was, I think, $4 million for the healthcare worker loan relief program, and there was about $3 million in the first year for the mobile crisis services, and about $3.5 million in year 2. And so, are those completely missing from this new version of the bill?
They are no longer applicable or needed in this version of the bill, as those issues are addressed in the FCC, the Free Conference Committee report that was released earlier today and coming out through the budget that'll pass through the Senate first and coming back over to the House. I'm not going to represent that the numbers are the same because I can't recall those off the top of my head, but the issues were addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Representative Palumbo, online.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wondered what is in the committee amendment that's not in the title amendment, please.
Let me grab those very quickly. Okay, one of the committee amendments deals with the Commonwealth West Healthcare Workforce Innovation Center, which this committee heard earlier and presented by Representative Miles.
Yes.
This is some language to make sure that the program is specifically identified and accurately identified enough so that it tags up effectively with budget language that takes care of the funding for that program that we discussed previously.
Thank you.
All right. No other questions? We have standing motion, and we have a second on 285 as amended by committee sub with amendments 1 and 2. Please call the roll.
Representative Beckler?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bentley? Yes, ma'am. Representative Blanton?
Aye.
Representative Bridges?
Yes.
Representative Dossett?
Yes.
Representative Fisher?
Yes.
Representative Fleming?
Aye.
Representative Flood?
Chairman, too many known unknowns. I pass.
Thank you.
Representative Fugit?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
I'll explain my vote, please.
Please, briefly.
I'm going to pass today because there's multiple bills in this, and I'm still trying to put my head around exactly what's in here. So I'll pass for now as I continue to review this.
Understood. Thank you.
Representative Hale?
Yes.
Representative Hart?
Yes.
Representative Hatton? Pass. Representative McCool?
Yes.
Representative Nemus?
Yes.
Representative Palumbo?
Yes.
I'm sorry, was that a pass or a yes?
It was a yes.
Yes. Representative Gibbons Prunty?
Yes.
Representative Raymond?
Yes.
Representative Reed? Representative Riley? Representative Santoro? Representative Tipton?
Yes.
Representative Wilner?
Still reviewing, so a pass for now.
Chair Petrie?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
About to announce a vote. Who was that? Over here. Can't see.
Go ahead and announce your vote.
All right, go ahead. Register what you have.
Oh, I just wanted to register a vote for Senate Bill 164. Yes.
Anyone else? Senate Bill 285 is amended by committee sub and Committee Amendment 1 and Committee Amendment 2 have received 20 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 4 pass votes. Will be reported with favorable expression that same should pass as amended.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I move that all committee amendments be rolled into the committee substitute.
We have a motion, second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So that is ordered to occur. We'll roll all those in to the committee sub.
Mr. Chairman, I move the title amendment.
I have a motion on a title amendment, and I have a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Title amendment adopted. And we are adjourned.